to support a strong Canadian company, which is nice. Oh, sorry, it's 187 million, which 187 is an ironic number, right? Remember Snoop Dogg used to say one Nick 7 on an undercover cop, right? So 187 is like, that's funny that it's cost 187. Maybe that's his subtle, like subconscious, like gangster move. But Drake revealed that he has his very own Air Drake. He's calling it Air Drake. He revealed it on Instagram, which I'm sure led to, he probably got a lot of likes off of that one. He probably got, everybody gets hearts and likes, so he got likes off of that. And he says, but if you want to take a trip on the rapper's airline, you'll have to have some sort of inside connection. He says, no rental, no timeshare. So he's not renting it. He's not sharing the time. He says, looks like Drake will be keeping the 30-seat plane all to himself. And rightfully so. The new 767-300F plane costs about $185 million. Why they put 187 at the top? 185 is not as cool of a number as 187. All right, so anyway, Drake, whose real name is Aubrey Graham, created, can you imagine if he was rapping under the name Aubrey Graham? Aubrey Graham, the great rapper. I don't think he would be successful with a name like that. He created the personalized private plane with CargoJet, a Canadian airline. The company announced their partnership with the rapper earlier this month. Quote unquote, he says, supporting homegrown businesses has always been a top priority of mine, Drake said in the statement. So when an opportunity came up to get involved with a great Canadian company, I was honored to do so. Okay, and then there's more stuff in here. I just, I think that's interesting. He's supporting a homegrown company in Canada. I think that's wonderful and cute. But remember, you're using Black culture to make yourself rich enough to buy a private jet. Like, let's just, I'm not dissing Drake. This is just me sitting on Drake's conscience, anybody, I don't know if anybody remembers Jiminy Cricket. He's like, always let your conscience be your guide. He was a little cricket that was actually your conscience. So I'm gonna be Jiminy Cricket. I'm gonna be Drake's conscience and say, yeah, Canadian companies are cool, but Canadian people don't really need the money. The Black community in America really needs the money, and the Black community in America is where you got that culture from, right? You would not be a rapper if if it wasn't for us, right? You wouldn't have your street cred if it wasn't for us. You wouldn't have your style if it wasn't for us. You wouldn't be respected around the world if it wasn't for us. Like without us, there is no hip hop. Like, right? I mean, without us, like, we are like the mother or the father of hip hop. Like, we gave birth to that shit. So if you're making money off our baby, then you should give something to the parents. Like, do you follow what my logic here? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Please tell me, confirm that you get what I'm saying. We created and founded hip hop. Started in the South Bronx, back in the days of KRS-One and Nas, even before Nas actually, and all of that, right? We started that shit. Like Africa Bambaataa, whoever else was there at that time, DJ Kool Herc, like, that's our shit, right? So, what I really would like to see is, I'm not saying that he can't support a Canadian company. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, I would like to see more rappers do the same thing when it comes to Black-owned companies. When it comes to the Black community in America, are you proudly, repping the fact that you're supporting Black-owned businesses? Really, like, are you going around saying, like, hey, I saw an opportunity to go spend $200 million with a Black-owned business, and I had to jump on that because Black-owned businesses, without Black people, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be Drake if it wasn't for Black people co-signing on my shit. So I got to go drop $200 million on an HBCU, right? Think about this. Pay attention now. You got rappers on TV in white people's magazines bragging about spending $200 million on some shit that white people made, but I have yet to see a rapper anywhere brag about how they also dropped 200 million or 50 million or 10 million on a historically Black college, all of whom need that money. Every one of them needs that money. I've seen rappers and athletes on Instagram, like the ultimate example, which gets to the point of coonery, straight coonery, is Floyd Mayweather. Money Mayweather. I seen Floyd draped in gold and Gucci, like not just Gucci, not just gold, but Gucci gold. I didn't even know Gucci made gold. I didn't even know gold was made in Gucci. But he was covered from head to toe with Gucci gold, like he's King Midas with a golden cup. Anybody seen that video on Instagram? And I've seen him brag about how much money he spends on European shit, but I've never seen him brag about spending millions of dollars on Black people shit. I've never seen Floyd Mayweather or Drake or any artist You know, go to a convention hosted like the We Buy Black convention, or maybe the All Black National Convention, or some other place, and say, you know what? I wanted to make it rain on these black vendors. I wanted to set it off. So I went up in there and I dropped 5 million on black owned businesses. That needs to be the new street cred, for real. Like if you went to give a like, if you hit the like button on Drake's post where he's bragging about, you know, a $200 million jet, I want you to go back to Instagram and I want you to hit the button again to take the like back and say, I'm not going to give you your like because I want you bragging about dropping 200 million in the black community that gave your ass an opportunity to be great and special. Like we're tired of hit it and quit it. We're tired of the economic version of hit it and quit it being done on black people, where you're going to use us up, you know, screw us, you know, bust a nut and then go run off to white folks where, you know, and live the happy life afterwards. Seriously, we're not going to let you just come in and soak up everything that we have to offer to the world and then go out and enjoy your white friends and your white businesses and your Canadian stuff or whatever. We don't hate you, Drake. We love you. Your music's brilliant, brilliant man. 32 years old. My God, he can buy a private jet at 32. I can buy a private jet at 30. I couldn't buy one now. So obviously your music is good and we love you for that. But you know, you're supporting these Canadian-owned companies with 200 million. Go to the African American community, go to the hood and drop $10 million. Like, don't go to the hood and buy like 8 t-shirts or pass out $100 bills. That's like a good publicity stunt. Like, that looks like people get excited about that, because you got to understand, African Americans have really low self-esteem. So when you show us even an ounce of love, like if you just take the time out of your day to come pee on us, we are excited. We're like, oh my God, he peeing on me. He usually pees in the toilet, but he, you know, I get to be the toilet today. Like, that's what we do. We get excited over things that don't matter. But you got to remember though, there's some people in the black community who are, you know, who are observant. You know, there are people in the black community who are intelligent. Like the people who are here right now. You guys are in the tribe of intelligent black people. That's why you're here. That's why most people are, you know, most people don't come here. Most people think I'm just talking shit, or they think I'm hating, or they think I'm, you know, or they think I'm nerdy or whatever. I don't know what they think, but it doesn't. That's fine. It's fine. But there are smart people who have self-esteem, who have standards, who are observant, who are going to say, yeah, okay, Drake, thanks for spending $3,000 today at a couple of black-owned businesses while you were here making, you know, $250,000 in your concert. But we're going to need you to do a little bit better than that, right? We're going to need you to go. We're going to need you to do this. Here's what I want you to do, Drake. Drake, if you're watching, are you watching? If you're watching, Drake, I want you to know, first of all, I respect you, man. I do not dislike you. I get a little out. Sometimes my mouth runs away from me and I just say crazy shit, but I don't hate you, man. I don't want you to think I hate you. I got a few rappers that think I hate rappers, and that ain't true. All I've ever listened to was hip hop. I didn't even like music before hip hop started, you know, was like really big. So here's what I want you to do, right? I want you to get on the phone, and I want you to, I don't even want your money. I want your power. You know, I'm like the white boys in Silicon Valley when they're partnering with Nas and Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they're doing these big tech investments. Like Beyonce just made 300 million from Uber and all that. Like I'm like the white boys, except I'm smarter than them because I have a PhD in finance. They don't have a PhD. They're just, their parents gave them money, and they're rich because they're you know, white and stuff, and they went to Harvard and all that. Like, so that's why they seem smart. But I'm smarter than, I taught those kids when I taught at Syracuse. So here's what I want you to do, Drake. I don't want you to even use your money. I want you to use your power. You know, like the white boys want you to do. Like they don't really care about you investing $5 million in their new tech startup. They want your brand. They want your influence. Because as I mentioned earlier, rappers are the original social media influencers. Rappers were social media influencers before there was social media. So I want you to go and get on the phone, and I want you to call. Let's start with maybe let's call Diddy. Let's see who else can. Let's call Jay-Z. Let's call Will Smith. Let's call maybe Barack Obama if you want to. Let's pick our like 20 richest friends, right? Serena Williams. She married the white guy, but she's still black. She can still be black. It's okay. She married the white guy, but she can still be black. And I want you, even her baby can be black, because a drop of black blood makes you black. And so I want you to get them together, and I want you to do a 2019 version of "We Are the World." And it doesn't have to be a song. I'm not saying I want you to sing. I want the spirit of that collective energy. So what I'd like for you to do is get all these people to get on social media at the same time and use a hashtag. Like the hashtag could be something like, save our HBCUs, right? Or build our HBCUs. Not even save. Let's forget saving. That's like a survivalist kind of mindset. Like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Instead, like they just call it HBCU prosper or something like that, right? Where your goal is to make sure that you take the top 10 HBCUs and help them all have endowments of at least $500 million or more. I don't know. I think that what is it? What's the school in Howard? I think Howard's over $500 million. Maybe I'm being delusional about it though. But that would be a good start, right? Like get all the HBCUs to have an endowment over $500 million so that they can financially afford to educate Black people for the next 100 years or so without begging people like Donald Trump to pay their bills, right? You can't really properly educate your community or empower your community when you got to get on your knees and go tickle Donald Trump's testicles to get him to give you money, right? You can't. That's the opposite of Black power. That's not even slavery. That's worse than slavery. And so, so what I would just say at the end of the day is that if Drake, or in all these celebrities that are bragging on social media about spending money with white people, I'm asking you all to not hit the like button and to not approve of that stuff, to see right through it, right? There's nothing a Black man should ever be proud of when it comes to giving the bulk of his money away to white people, when there are so many things in the Black community that can be resolved. I bring up Bill Cosby regularly. I know y'all forgot about him because he's in jail and stuff, and because the white woman with the Adam's apple said that he touched her titty or something. So y'all think he deserves 1,000 years in prison, even though there's no evidence. But that's fine. That's fine. You can think what you want about Bill Cosby. But here's what I'm going to say about Bill Cosby. Cosby showed up for HBCUs. Talk shit about Cosby all day. You could say he's a pervert. You could say he's an egomaniac. You could say that he's self-righteous. You could say anything that you want about Bill Cosby. You could criticize him for having, perfect grammar, or whatever, or say that he looked down on people. But one thing Cosby did do during his life was he always showed up for HBCUs in a way that no celebrity since that time has ever shown up for HBCUs. Even what Beyonce did, what she did was nice. She did the Netflix documentary. Beyonce makes her, 60 million HBCUs. They get some free publicity. That's nice and cute. But really, the thing about it is, I would like to see coalitions of these celebrities that we're supporting come together to really feel the pressure to solve real Black problems, real Black, real African-American problems. Like it's, again, some of the global problems are great. Like I heard Jay-Z's helping get water in parts of Africa. That's very important. Absolutely. But also remember, let's circle back to Chicago. In Chicago, 45% of all Black males between the ages of 20 and 24 do not have a job. 45% of all Black males between the ages of 20 and 24, not only do they not have a job, that they're not in school. That means 45% of all Black males in Chicago between the ages of 20 and 24 do not have a source of income or legal income, and they do not have an education. And what does that mean? That means that their likelihood of ending up in a casket or in a prison cell is very, very high. So why is it not the case that some of the Black people who brag on TV about how they spent $200 million with white people don't come to the hood and make sure that gets fixed? Flint needs water. Flint still ain't got no water. Celebrities could fix that in about 30 seconds. If they just use their Instagrams and raise money for Flint to get better water, they could do that by lunchtime, right? So the question I would ask at the end of the day is, why do we not speak more about that? Am I the only weirdo who brings this up? Yes or no? Somebody talk Black to me, please, because I need to understand why I got to come out here and make myself look like that. I mean, you know how many celebrities won't be my friend because they think I'm a hater because I'm bringing up the obvious, like I'm calling out the bullshit and I'm just talking about it. So many that they won't talk to me and it hurts my feelings, right? I don't really care. But seriously though, do you understand what it feels like when you're saying something that is simple and basic and common sense, and people look at you like you're crazy or that you're radical or whatever, right? So Anyway, hit the thumbs up button. Please, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. I want to let you guys know you're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. Also, if you want to watch just financial stuff, I do financial updates throughout the day. You can sign up at theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. It's totally free. It's a YouTube channel that covers finances from a Black perspective. And also, of course, you guys know when Farrakhan got banned, we came up with a plan for dealing with the Farrakhan ban, and that plan was called Black Enough, and that's our social media platform for Black people. And I'm going to write it down for you while you hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button while I write it down for you. Here's the URL. Here's how you spell it. Okay, here's how you spell Black Enough. So you can go sign up today, and that is a social media. But we have tens of thousands of people on there, and they engage and they talk to each other and they hang out with each other and all this other stuff. So here, I'm gonna hold it up here for 3 seconds, and here for 3 seconds, and then here for 3 seconds. All right, so somebody type that in so other people can see it. Everybody should join Black Enough. That's the social media platform for Black people. Why do we have to do that? Well, because Facebook keeps banning Black people just for talking about Black things, just because we quote Malcolm X. I got banned for quoting Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali. I got banned for sharing an article about Tyler Perry. Like, I kid you not, they banned me for a month because I shared an article about Tyler Perry. And I messaged them and I said, why did you ban me for sharing an article about Tyler Perry? And they literally did not even respond. And I was like, God, what the hell, man? This is terrible. So anyway, so the thing about Drake and the private jet from a pure financial standpoint is that private jets are extremely expensive to operate. If you ever get a lot of money, don't buy a private jet. I'm not saying Drake is stupid for buying the private jet. He may have reasons to want to buy it. You don't know what his private situation is. His personal situation could be that he has some endorsement deal where the company went and bought the private jet just to let him use it, or whatever, gave him the money and said, go buy it and make it look like you bought it. It could be a situation where he just doesn't care. He's like, yeah, it's going to cost me $10 million a year to operate this, but I got $10 million a year to burn. I don't know if he really does or not, but he could. I'm not going to count this man's money or get in his pockets. I don't know what his net worth is. I'm going to look up Drake's net worth real quick and try to get a sense of just where he is net worth wise. He's been famous for a really long time, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's worth a few $100 million. Remember, he's good friends with LeBron James. Okay, they say his net worth is $100 million. Now, do I think that justifies a purchase of a $187 million jet? No, I don't. But who cares what I think? Who cares what I think in terms of what this man does with his private money? I want to make that clear. Sometimes you buy something nice just because you want to have it. Just because, every financial choice does not have to be an investment decision that leads to a positive ROI, right? Some financial choices, I'll give you an example. I just bought the car I bought. It's not a super luxury car, but it's like an Infinity, which is kind of fancy. But it wasn't new. I don't buy new cars. I did a video that you guys can go watch on why you should never buy a new car if you're trying to, not be financially crazy. Because Black people actually lead the nation in new car consumption on a per capita basis, right? So anyway, I bought the car and I got it because I liked it. I know a car is a bad investment. It's just like how you might be a fitness guru, you might be an Olympic athlete, but you might just want a candy bar. And a candy bar is not going to do anything to help you win the Olympics. A candy bar is going to do nothing good for your health. But you might say, you know what? Who gives a shit? I'm going to eat this candy bar and I'm going to enjoy it. And you're not going to make me feel bad about that. So sometimes we engage in what might be the equivalent of a financial candy bar. And that is okay. So maybe for Drake, this is a big financial candy bar. He's just like, look, I just want convenience. I want to be happy. I want to be able to get where I need to get to whenever I want to get there. And I'm not going to let anybody tell me no. I'm going to make my money on the left hand and I'm going to spend a little bit on the right. So for me, I would assume that given that Drake has these friends like Serena and LeBron and Beyonce and Nas, all of whom are starting to realize the power of Black celebrity brands when it comes to getting in on these really good tech investments that like Uber, they grow into, these billion-dollar companies. I would imagine Drake probably has a long list of pretty good investments that are generating enough money that he's okay with actually owning the jet. In fact, if his corporation I'm sure he's incorporated on multiple levels, obviously, right? After all, he's Drake. If his corporation bought the jet, then whatever the costs are, he writes them off on his taxes. That reduces the cost a lot. That's why I tell you guys you have to be investors, even on a small scale. You should be investors because investors get all the tax write-offs. Owning a house gives you a couple of write-offs, but they're not that great. Being an investor and being a business owner gives you a lot of great write-offs. It doesn't mean you want to abuse that privilege. Like, you don't want to just write off your whole lifestyle, but a lot of your expenditure, if your business is your passion, you're going to spend a lot of money on your passion. So if you spend a lot of money on your passion, why not position yourself to be able to write that off? Okay, so I don't think that Drake's decision necessarily is going to ruin him financially. I do know there was a story not too long ago, about 10 years ago, where Diddy bought a jet and Diddy grounded that damn thing. I don't know if he picked it back up. I don't know if Diddy's flying it right now, but I know Diddy grounded it. Now, he said the reason he grounded it was because the fuel prices had gotten too high. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, that sounds like a weird excuse. But then again, though, maybe that was really what happened. And I do know that Diddy, with the jet, he did mention that it cost him $200,000 to do a couple of round trips from LA to New York or something insane like that, right? And so I think that the ethical question here, the interesting ethical question here is if you're spending $200,000 to fly from LA to New York a couple of times, and you are a representative of a community where you got people in your community that are starving and can't eat, people in your community who are locked away, who have relatives and loved ones locked away in prison who could use a good lawyer, people in your community who've been shot down by the cops and can't really fight back, people in your community where the children are dodging bullets on their way to school, people in your community where most of the men who look like you can't get jobs, or a large percentage of them. How should you feel about that? Should you feel any ownership of that to the point where you say, I have all this wealth. I have hundreds of millions of dollars, and I'm spending it on these worthless trinkets that are handed to me by white people. At the same time, the people that I allegedly love, the streets I allegedly rep, the hood I allegedly rep is dying, right? And I think that's what makes a Nipsey Hussle so beloved and so special, is that Nipsey stayed right there in that neighborhood and brought all of his wealth and prosperity back to that hood, right? But the thing is, Nipsey Hussle wasn't the biggest rapper on the block, right? A lot of y'all didn't even hear Nipsey's music until Nipsey was gone, which shame on us, right? Shame on us for not supporting him while he was here. But you have other, when you look at other artists who are 10 times more successful, music-wise than Nipsey was when he was alive, and they're repping the hood. They're using the hood in their videos. They're talking about being from the hood, all of that. Well, I would say Nipsey would probably deep down had an issue with that. He didn't really call it out too much, but I heard in one of his songs where he actually said something like, if you use our name in your music, you got to pay a tax. Right. And I don't remember what it was. It was, I think the song was called The Last I Checked. Go check the lyrics. There's a line where he says something about paying a tax for using the brand of the neighborhood you come from. And that was a brilliant, intelligent economic statement. Why is that an intelligent economic statement? Because you can't use somebody's intellectual property or somebody's brand or somebody's trademark without paying them a licensing fee. So when you hear about Crips, anybody heard stories about the Crips? Like waiting until some rapper comes to town who's been repping the Crips and bragging about being connected with certain gangsters, and they say, when you come to town, we're gonna get you because you haven't paid us anything for using our name, right? Anybody heard those stories? I think Rick Ross gotten wrapped up in some stuff like that, right? Well, while I'm not going to condone the violence, I'm not condoning any of that. I will say that there is a logical economic perspective on that says that, yeah, if you use somebody's brand, like if I go and I start becoming the Disney rapper and I got Mickey Mouse, clothes on all the time, and I'm rapping like Mickey Mouse, rapping for kids and making a lot of money, repping Mickey Mouse and Disney's going to show up and say, okay, you got to pay. You got to pay us something to use our license. You can't go use our brand and our trademark without our permission, without paying us some money. So ultimately, that's what Nipsey Hussle says. So to extend that logic, rappers who are out repping the hood, rappers who are using street cred to build these, $100 million brands, those rappers do owe something to the community from which they got their brand. And most of these rappers ain't paying up. They you know they're just giving you lip service, but they're not paying up. So I think that the problems in the hood belong on the backs of many of these celebrities who are claiming the hood in order to maintain their celebrity status. I think Drake is in that category. I think that if it wasn't, if suddenly all the black people in the hood stopped listening to Drake, then white people would stop listening to Drake. I talked to the president of the Jordan brand, and I remember hearing them discuss the fact that the inner city black male, is a prototype and a template for how they design their sneakers. Because they know that whatever that inner city black male between 16 and 19 does, whatever he's wearing, everybody wants to wear it. Whatever he's doing, everybody wants to do it. So they develop their brand around the taste preferences of that 16 to 19-year-old black male. So my argument, well, for them and for everybody is, well, if you're building billion-dollar brands and billion-dollar businesses off the fashion taste of the 16 to 19-year-old black male in Chicago, New York, LA, wherever it is, why are these men not being taken care of? Why are they being neglected and forgotten about? Why is it not the case that these brands, these celebrities, whoever that are making money from the extensive, influential fashion tastes of young black males, why are they allowing these black men to struggle economically? Why aren't they doing mass entrepreneurship programs to teach 10 million of them how to start their own businesses so they're not sitting around jobless? Because just in case you don't know, the only way a black man the only way most black men can really survive and prosper and get by and really have any power is to learn how to start their own business. I'm just telling you, I'm not saying that you can't go to law school, medical school, or go work for somebody. A lot of people work for other people, and sometimes it's fine. You may love your job. The white people you work for may treat you very well. You may have a good master. I'm not going to say that that's not possible. But what I will say is that when I talk to most black men, when I talk to most brothers, they ain't happy at their job. When I talk to most brothers, and I say, are you making enough money? They say, no, hell no, I ain't making enough money. When I ask them about who they work for, they could complain for 8 hours straight if I let them keep talking that long. If we kept talking that long, they could keep going all day. And I'm not just talking about brothers that ain't got no education, who ain't even got a GED. I'm talking about brothers that did finish high school. I'm talking about brothers that did get the bachelor's degree. Maybe they went to a HBCU or something, or even the fancy schools. They might have went to Stanford and are sitting on $150,000 in debt for that degree. I'm talking about brothers that got master's degrees. They ain't happy. I'm talking about brothers that got law degrees. They feel oppressed on their jobs in most cases. I'm talking about brothers that got PhDs, MDs, JDs, BAs, BSs, MAs, MSs, and any other set of letters behind your name that make you feel like you better than somebody else. Most of these brothers I know are not happy working for white people because it's not in their nature to go around bowing to another man. It's just not, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel comfortable. And it really sucks is that even when you bow, they still disrespect you even more. It's like the fact that you've submitted to them makes them feel that much more bolder to mistreat you and disrespect you. Like that's what the frustration is. So what I'm sitting there trying to tell you is that the only solution for the black man is to start his own business. If a black man wants to be a king, he must learn how to build a castle. He cannot become a king by learning how to serve the owner of the castle. It does not work for men. It does not work for black men. Because us black men, those of us who got our balls attached to our body, which that number is dwindling because they want us all feminized and gay or whatever the hell they want, whatever the agenda is, right? But those black men, those brothers out here, say your name if you're one of them, who got their testicles attached to their body, they ain't too good at bowing and scraping and begging people to let them get by. They're not too good at that. It's not comfortable for us. We can't, it's hard. It's very difficult because it's not in your nature. It's not in your nature to bow. You were the original kings, and so it ain't comfortable for you to be a servant. You can't, it's hard to do that. So when somebody tells you that that's your only option, either go to prison or serve somebody and tickle a white man's balls every morning, that's a depressing set of actions. That's a depressing, those aren't even options. It's like wait, can I choose death? How about death? Alex, can I get death for $500, please? Like, can I put death as one of the options? Because that I think I might rather choose that than prison or getting on my knees every morning. Like I can't do that. I can't do that. So what I'm saying to you is that the black man, and I'm not saying the women shouldn't consider this. Women have their own situation. I'm hearing that, and we talked about that yesterday. I'm talking about that again later. I'm gonna do extensive, detailed analysis on the black female entrepreneur in America and what they're experiencing. But right now, I'm talking about the brothers, and I'm telling you that a man can't be a king in America unless he learns how to build a castle. At least the black man. The black man will never be a king if he never learns how to build a castle, because they'll never make you the king of somebody else's castle when you walked into that castle as a servant. You can't go work for a king and be his cook, his court jester, entertain him or whatever it is, and expect at some point he's going to hand you the keys to the castle. That is not going to happen. So, so what I would say is that any rapper, any athlete, any corporation that leans on the hood, that claims to love the hood, that talks about the hood, that claims to rep the hood, needs to take some ownership of some of the problems in the hood. And I'm not talking about superficial ownership. I'm not talking about like, oh, I gave $5,000 to the Boys and Girls Club, but I spent $100,000 on publicity to tell you about the $5,000 I gave. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. It's like if I go in a room, it's like when my mama used to tell me to clean up the kitchen. Imagine if my mom said, "Oh boy, clean up this house." I don't know if anybody else had a mama like that, where it's Saturday morning and your friends are outside playing. Tell me, if you're in this, if you know what I'm talking about, where your mama, you want to go play with your friends and you're really excited, and your mama stops you in your tracks and says you got to clean the whole house before you can go out, and you're like, fuck, like you pissed, right? You're so mad, like that's so demoralizing. I'm still traumatized from that. But it's like if your mama says, boy, before you go out of this house, you better clean this house up. So imagine you go in the house, you go in and you grab a broom and you sweep for about 30 seconds, and you say, okay, I contributed to cleaning the house. I'm going to go outside and play now. What would your mother say? I don't know about you, but my mother would have slapped me into next week. My mother would have said, boy, you ain't cleaned up shit. She would say, look at the bedroom. Look at that mess. Look at the kitchen. Look at that mess. Look at the living room. Look at this stuff on the floor. Look at this dust over here. Look at these dirty dishes. You ain't cleaned up nothing. You better get your ass back in this house before I take you out of this world, before I beat you, before I used to get beat. I'm just stupid. Just so you know, I'm what they consider to be a black man who is filled with toxic masculinity. That's me. I'm too old-fashioned to go along with a lot of the liberal bullshit that I hear, like that it's always automatically traumatic when you spank a child. No, it's not always automatically traumatic. Doesn't mean you should beat your kids until they're dead. Smart people know not to do that. Doesn't mean you should beat them for no reason. Doesn't mean you should just beat them as a first resort. But sometimes, I'm gonna tell you, I was a kid that kind of needed some kind of a serious consequence for my behavior for me to get in line. Like if you just tried to always talk to me, sometimes I wasn't gonna listen. So I got some whoopings, and I probably kind of needed those whoopings, right? So I don't think my parents were bad for spanking me. I just think that we're just a bad society. That's why you got little white kids running around shooting up schools, because they should have got their ass whooped. If they got an ass whooping, no kids would have got shot down at that school that day. That's my opinion. I really think some of those kids, like kids in the grocery store, throwing the cereal boxes, cussing out their mamas and all that, I don't understand that. I don't get that, because I never grew up in a household where you could do something like that and still expect to be alive on Tuesday. I just never knew that. So I'm not dissing, I'm not hating. If you think spanking is traumatic, keep thinking that. Keep your perception. That's okay. We're intelligent black people. We can agree to disagree. And I don't even disagree with you. Maybe you're right. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong, but I'm gonna say that my parents were not terrible people because they spanked me. They did not deserve, like nowadays, if my parents had done now what they did then, I could have called Child Protective Services and got them locked up and everything else. And I mean, shit, that would have been too much power to give me as a 12-year-old, because I would have got my parents both sent to jail, because I remember being very pissed off because they held me accountable for something that I actually did. But if you gave me the power to get my parents locked up for punishing me, I probably would have abused that power. So that's just my 2 cents on it. But anyway, let's keep going. So the thing was, when my mother told me to clean up The living room or the house, she was telling me to take accountability for the dirt that's in the house, for the mess that's in the house. I couldn't just walk in and say, well, I contributed. I swept the floor for 30 seconds and then walk out and act like the problem was solved. The problem still isn't solved. So what I say in contrast or in comparison is that, these black celebrities that are repping the hood, claiming the hood, talking about they from the hood, they love the hood, they need to take ownership of the problems in the hood. Not all of them, and we should join them. We can back them up. We can be soldiers on the ground helping them out. Like shit. I mean, if Drake gets with Beyonce and they do a Instagram telethon to raise $100 million for HBCUs, I'll use my Instagram too. I'll say everybody go support Drake and Beyonce's HBCU initiative right now. Like I'm not saying that I would expect them to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. I ain't no real celebrity, but I've been around them. I'm like they got A list, B list, C list, D list. I'm like way down the alphabet. I'm about a Q. I'm about a Q list celebrity, but it's okay. I'm famous. I can go play. I've signed thousands of autographs. I've done that. I know famous people, right? So I would use my celebrity power to support whatever they're doing, right? So I'm not asking them to do something that the rest of us should not be willing to do. I think that we should provide backup when a celebrity does something good, but we shouldn't be given approval when they do things that are empty and superficial and don't benefit the community that needs them the most, right? So I'm gonna just say this about Drake and his jet investment. I'm impressed with Drake and his music. I'm impressed with Drake in terms of him not fulfilling the stereotypes of rappers. He isn't, he's gotten into stuff, but he's not that bad. He's actually had a really relatively decent career. But I'm not impressed by the fact that he gave $200 million to white people to buy this jet when I've never heard him announce a $200 million purchase in the black community. Do you follow what I'm saying? And it probably sounds like I'm being demanding. It probably sounds like I'm being a hater. It probably sounds like I'm just being mean. But why is it? But actually, I would say that I'm being a person who has self-esteem, a person who expects us to receive at least as much love from our celebrities, our black celebrities, as white people expect. The white man, if he runs a business and he says, look, I sell $200 million jets. If you ain't got 200 million, I don't even want you in the building, right? They'll respect that. They'll bow to that. They'll be like, oh, well, yes, master, let me go and get my 200 million just to show you that I belongs here. Black people will be happy because they gave away 15 turkeys in the hood, or they gave away bicycles at Christmas, or they went into a Walmart in the hood and bought everybody toys for Christmas. Who gives a fuck? I'm not saying that that's not a nice thing to do. I'm not saying that that's not cool. That's fine. Go buy the toys. But what the fuck is a goddamn toy going to do for a black child 10 years from today? A black child ain't going to have that toy 10 years from now unless they're keeping it as memorabilia. The things that will benefit a black child 10 years from today will be in education. So why aren't you owning the responsibility of making sure that every child in the hood gets an education? Give them a toy, but give them the toy after you give them the education. The other things that will matter for that child in 10 years are investments. Okay, if you're buying toys and giving away turkeys and bicycles at Christmas, that's cool. But why not also give them some shares of stock to go with that? Why aren't we having massive stock purchase giveaway plans by black celebrities in the hood? 2 Chainz, all these everybody, and some of the rappers I love. Like I love the rapper T.I. I think T.I. is just a world leader in terms of using his power for the good of the community. A bad motherfucker and a damn good rapper. He's actually my favorite rapper. Y'all gonna hate me when I say this, but I'm gonna say it. He's better than Tupac. I'm the same age as Pac. I was around when Pac was there. I love Pac. I listen to him every morning. But T.I., I feel is better. But let's not get into a hip hop debate. I just had to get that off my chest. But every year I see T.I., on Instagram, there's a video that goes viral where he goes into a Target, a Walmart, or a Kmart, or whatever, and he buys toys for everybody. And he says, buy whatever you want, I'll pay for it. And I think that's great. And that's wonderful. Like keep doing that. He should do that every year. But just understand that's not a sustainable sort of contribution to the community. That's not something that's going to make sure those people are good, 20 years from now. That's not teaching them how to fish. That's not even buying them fish. That's buying them candy, right? The fish, at least fish is healthy, right? If I buy kids just a bunch of toys, then that will give them the temporary high of having toys on Christmas. But then about a week after Christmas, they got to go back to the same shitty life they had before. So, I think that the toy buybacks are cool. Like, you might see me do stuff like that. Like, I think toys are great. I buy toys for the kids in this house every birthday, every Christmas. They got all kinds of shit. But I make sure that before they get the bullshit, they get the real shit. Before I get them a toy, we talking about shares of stock. When they come to me, the 12-year-old had a birthday. She came to me, she had a list. She loves like real expensive stuff. And she's like, hey, Boyce, so I have my list. And I know that you, and I would like for you to get me these shoes. And this is the outfit I want. And blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. But first, we're going to talk about stock. We're going to talk about what ownership you're going to have. And I want you to tell me which companies you want me to buy shares of stock in for you. Let's talk about that. Do you remember what I told you about what it means to own shares of stock? Like, we had to, and the thing is, we had that conversation. She had the conversation with me because she knew that I'm not going to talk about the bullshit until we talk about the real shit. I'm not going to talk about, your Jordans and Gucci and whatever the hell it is you want. Because I know I'm old enough to know that shit ain't going to matter to you 3 years from today. But if I'm buying you shares of stock every birthday, every Christmas, and that's just stacking chips in your custodial account that I built for you, that's going to come in handy when you're 28 years old trying to figure out how to get out of a bad relationship, and you're not afraid to leave because you know you got enough money to get away from that man. You're not sitting around doing a Cardi B shaking ass for a man that you hate in order to make sure the bills get paid or that the kids get what they need. You're not going to be in that situation when you are financially controlled, financially abused by a man, by a boss, or by a situation because nobody made a plan for you. Because every birthday, every Christmas, we talk all day about toys, but we didn't talk nothing about investing. So what I'm saying to you is that at the end of the day, our Black celebrities got to care about Black people. And then they're getting better. It's not like they don't care. In fact, some of the things that I say may be things that they don't even know. They don't understand these things. Maybe they're learning, and I want to be nice about it, as nice as I can. I can't help it. Russell Simmons actually had a conversation with me about that. He said, sometimes when you make a point, you don't have to hit people across the head with it. You can be subtle with it. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to be subtle, but that's just not how I'm built. I'm like the sledgehammer across the head kind of person. And I don't even mean to be that way. It just comes out of me. That's just who I am. Love it or hate it. But I want to just make it clear that I'm not attacking anybody when I say this. I want to make sure I say that so that anybody who hears this message will take it in the right way. And maybe I got it from my dad. My dad wouldn't say, well, son, you may want to consider other possibilities. My dad would be like, that was some dumbass shit. You a stupid motherfucker right now. What's wrong with you? And I would absorb that. I would take them as like, sir, what did I do? I didn't mean to. And he would explain it, and then he would build me back up, and I'd be like, okay, now I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna do it right because daddy schooled me on the game. So now I'm schooling you and explaining to you that we got a lot of stuff happening in our hoods. We have a lot of celebrities doing a lot of stuff with money. They're rapping about money, talking about money, doing things with money. And a lot of things they're doing with the money don't make any damn sense. If it ain't going to impact the life of that child 5 years from today, then who gives a shit? Who cares? Who cares? It's a flash in the fucking pan. It's just a short-term, temporary, feel-good moment that's going to go away and fleet away, just like all the hope has fleeted away in most of our Black communities all across the United States. So my point here, and I didn't mean to cuss so much. I always promise myself I'm not going to cuss in the morning. Then I always break the promise. That's very bad of me. We need celebrities to own the hood, literally and figuratively, not just buying the real estate, buying up the block, all of that. You need to own the problems in the hood. When they put out a study that says, Flint's water is still so toxic that it's like drinking like a mixture between gasoline and piss. Like the celebrities should be the first ones to step up as elected officials. That's what they are. They're elected officials because without us supporting them, they wouldn't be anything, right? They should step in and get together with other celebrities and do what white people do. when you do something that's anti-gay, all the white celebrities all get together, they organize, they have a conference call, they all agree, okay, at the Oscars, we're all going to talk about this topic, we're all going to give money to this particular politician, we're all going to invest in these particular ventures, we're all going to stop making our movies in Atlanta because gay people have to use a different bathroom or whatever the issue is, or they're not letting people do abortions anymore. Whatever their topic is, they organize their shit and they get their most powerful celebrities to manifest something that's real, that helps to solve the problem. Black celebrities got to get on board, and they also got to be black. See, because they'll do that shit. They'll get real organized when it comes to helping white people. Like Queen Latifah was up there singing all day and rapping all day about being gay. Right? When they told her to do that, she's jumping for massa like that. Like they get real organized when it comes to doing things that matter to white people. Like if they want to save the environment, you got Negroes signing up for that. When they want to do some LGBT shit, they signing up for that. When they want to do something, abortion, women's rights, something, they jump on top of that. But black people show up and say, hey, I understand that we want to make sure that all the transgender people get to use whatever bathroom they want. And I know that you want to make sure that white women keep getting all the affirmative action. I know that you want to make sure the environment is taken care of and all that, and that puppies get the same rights as humans. Like I respect all that. But hey, we got in Chicago, 45% of all black males between 20 and 24 don't have a job and are not in school. 45% of the black males in Chicago between 20 and 24 are dying, like they're getting shot up. Like, did you see how many black of your people that look like you got killed last week? We need your help on that too. They ain't got time for that. They ain't never got time for that. But they got a whole lot of time to do whatever white folks want them to do, and to even put their money behind it. Like the rapper Dr. Dre. I just got sad just thinking about Dr. Dre, and because I can't get over the fact that he went and gave $35 million to USC with Jimmy Iovine. It was $70 million total. Drake gave half, Jimmy gave the other half, and they gave it to a school that doesn't need the money. I analyzed the numbers. I know what the numbers look like. I know how much money USC has. I've analyzed their finances, what their budget is, their annual budget, as well as their endowment. And I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I just, and again, I'm not saying that Dr. Dre hasn't done things for black people. I'm just saying he's never done anything that grand for black people. And I'm sitting there just thinking, your community needs that money. We really need, USC doesn't need that money. Like they just don't. They spent that money in a week. They're like, thank you, Negro. We bought some new, we got solid gold toilets for the bathrooms, thanks to you. We're gonna call these the Dr. Dre toilets, because you bought us new toilets, thank you, or whatever they spent the money on. And HBCUs would literally remember you for the next 200 years if you were the person who made that kind of donation to historically black colleges. So I don't understand. Y'all gotta help me understand it, man. I'm just lost. Like, coonery is the most complicated concept I've ever faced. I faced the most difficult equations of mathematics. I've tried to figure out the meaning of life, and I think I made some progress on that one, but I can't figure out coonery. Coonery is a math problem I cannot solve. I do not understand the mind of the enslaved Negro. It is like motherfucking rocket science. Like, it's harder than the theory of relativity, because sometimes this cosmic coonery, like this interdimensional coonery that we see in our community, is just mind-boggling and baffling. I don't get it. I just don't get it. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking before I get myself into more trouble. And my woman is upstairs and she's rummaging around, which means it's time for us to go run. Long story short, congratulations, Drake, on your new jet. I assume you can afford it. I'm sure Drake has plenty of money and plenty of supporters where he can make enough money to pay for it. Be careful. If any of y'all who become rich, I don't think that buying a private jet is a good investment. But then again, maybe Drake's wealthy enough that he's got good investments which allow him to enjoy his money. So this is not anti-Drake at all. By the way, I want to remind everybody, my new book comes out on May 19th on Malcolm X's birthday. It's called Black American Money 3. This is the first original copy. And I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy that We finally got it done. And also we have books like Powernomics and stuff like that. So which I think everybody should own. So if you want to get copies of books like that, you can go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. And speaking of books, I know a lot of you have children that are going to need something to do during the summer that is constructive other than sitting around watching Disney shows. We have financial workbooks for children that we created. It took us 2 years to put this together. We worked with a team of Black experts to get these done. We cover every grade band, and it covers investing, stocks, and money. So if you want your child to get receive a gift that will last them for a lifetime, feel free to check out these workbooks. You can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. So feel free to go check out financialworkbooks.com. All right, so hit the thumbs up button before you go. Please hit the thumbs up button and the share button and subscribe button. And also a reminder, the name of our social media platform, it's right here, Black Enough. Here's how you spell it. So that is where we're gathering each day, and we're talking about Black shit that Facebook will never allow us to talk about on their platform, because Facebook is an evil and racist company. All right, so I'm about to go. Let's see, Gwen says, will it be available on Kindle? My book, yeah, my book will. The workbooks are not on Kindle, but my books are all on Kindle. They're on Amazon, stuff like that. So thank you guys so much, and thanks for putting up with me. It was fun. And again, I don't mean any ill will toward any rapper I've talked about. No rappers were harmed in the making of this video. So that's my public service announcement. No rappers were harmed in the making of this video. It's all love. If any of them ever want me to help them with something, and I hear from certain rappers. I talk mostly to Killer Mike and David Banner, but you know, I've heard from a few others. And so if they ever want me to help them, I'll be glad to help them. And just ignore some of the cussing or any mean thing I might have said. Just chalk it up to the fact that I don't watch my mouth. I just say what's on my mind. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you soon.